Dear Papa, what a pleasure to see you. Matilda said she brought you into the drawing room. Why, Papa, whatever is the matter? You seem somewhat discomposed. Have you been working too hard again? Even a deacon of the Church of England is entitled to a little leisure. Do sit down. I'll ask Matilda to bring us some tea. It is a great restorative. Brandy? Oh, why, yes, of course, Papa. Do, help yourself. No, I'm afraid Mr. Crawley has gone out. He was called away about an hour ago on some urgent parliamentary business. It's a delicate matter, an egregious breach of protocol, but with his reputation for moral probity, I'm sure the Honourable Mr. Crawley will be swift to set matters to right. Of that I'm certain. He'll be sorry to have missed you. I believe you had a business transaction to attend to. Oh, please excuse my appearance. I've been doing some polishing. Yes, I could have asked Matilda to do it, but this task required my personal touch. Why? Well, it is quite a story, Papa. In the early hours of this morning, I was disturbed from my slumber by a creaking door, a muffled thump. A dark shadow crept across the floor. Was I to be murdered in my own bed? I seized my hairbrush, the silver-backed one you gave me for my birthday, and I brought it down several times upon the intruder's head, whereupon the creature emitted a blood-curdling cry. Well, imagine my relief to discover that it was only Crawley, arrived home late from Parliament. I'd surprised him in the act of stowing something in the back of the closet. When he'd recovered the power of speech, he explained that he'd bought a special gift to mark his brother's initiation into the Freemasons. My dear husband is so modest that my discovery of his generous impulse caused him much embarrassment. In order not to further inconvenience me, he immediately relocated the item to the cellar. What is this item? Mr. Crawley wished to keep it confidential, so as not to spoil his brother's surprise. Oh, Papa, I cannot tell a lie. Curiosity got the better of me. As dear Crawley departed this morning, I slipped into the cellar to search for this mysterious gift. It took me quite some time. Only Crawley would think to conceal it behind a rack of Madeira. I really shouldn't reveal to you what I found, but I suppose I could make an exception given your position in the church. The item was wrapped in hessian. Judging from its shape, I thought it to be a walking stick, though why a walking stick should occasion such secrecy I could not say. It is strange, is it not, Papa? No, I did not examine the item any further. But, unfortunately, as I returned the item to the hiding place, the hessian cloth fell away. I could not help but see. The walking stick has a singular appearance, very long, almost as tall as me, and most exquisite. Solid silver with gold plating, and gold roses, eucalypts, and other flowers twined around the shaft, and it has the most enormous knob on the top of it. I shouldn't speculate, but I imagine it may relate to arcane Masonic practices. Do you think that it could be so, Papa? Yes, do help yourself to another brandy. One more strange thing. As I rewrapped the walking stick in the hessian, I did observe that the silver was somewhat tarnished. The shaft bore the imprints of many greasy fingerprints. And as for the majestic knob, well, it proved sticky to the touch. Oh, Papa, I am perplexed as to why Crawley would have purchased an item in such condition. I had no alternative but to slip into the scullery and give the knob a jolly good rub and polish the shaft with great vigour to a fine sheen. I imagine that's why my complexion looks somewhat pink. But, Papa, your complexion has turned somewhat florid. Are you sure you won't take some tea? As you see fit. Though I'm sure Mamma would not wish for you to have more than 2 brandies. I cannot throw further light onto Mr. Crawley's business this morning. However, when the police turned up earlier this morning, I quite forgot to mention that, I couldn't help but overhear them inquire about some missing parliamentary regalia. Now, what was it? Was it a case? No. Was it a base? Ah, now I remember. It was a mace. Very valuable, I believe. Have another brandy. Oh no, there was no unpleasantness. Why would there be? The police thanked Crawley for his generous contribution to their benevolent fund. Mr. Crawley was quite overcome at their gratitude. Papa, do not think me indelicate, but have you heard the rumours that certain men of high standing have misappropriated this parliamentary treasure, allegedly for the purposes of lewd entertainment in a house of ill repute? I cannot begin to imagine what one would use a case or a base or even a mace in such circumstances. Can you, Papa? As Crawley was about to depart, I noticed an unsightly bulge in his pocket. Why, his coat pocket, Papa. I attempted to flatten the bulge and was surprised to find an envelope bursting with £10 notes. Upon questioning, Crawley reluctantly admitted that he wished to emulate your own example of Christian charity, dear Papa. Like you, he desires to bring the fallen women of Little Lonsdale Street to God. A little money, he felt, might serve to alleviate their desperate circumstances and divert them from the path of sin. It is so unfortunate, isn't it, dear Papa, that the Victorian Legislative Assembly should be situated in such close proximity to so many unsavoury establishments. Well, Papa, I hope you don't think me rude. I intend to go shopping this afternoon on Collins Street. Mr. Crawley has kindly given me a substantial sum of money to spend on some new clothes. Such a loving husband. Oh, and Papa, I needn't let Mamma aware of your philanthropic endeavours amongst the fallen women of Little Lonsdale. That's between you and God, and me. You can rely on my discretion. Now, about that business transaction between you and Crawley, it would be more convenient for you to hand the money over to me for safekeeping. Now, thank you. And Papa, I needn't worry about the police. I'm sure they've got more urgent matters to attend to than the case of the missing parliamentary mace.